As an editor, keyboard shortcuts help make my workflow flow much faster. These are some of the Adobe Premiere tips and shortcuts that I'll be teaching you guys that I learned from college, trial and error, and lots of blog posts. So as you can see, there's a little window that you probably won't see. By the way, I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2017.0 at the moment, or point 0.2. It's one of the two versions, I can't remember. You won't have this little preview area, and it's actually called the preview area, enabled defaultly. So in order to get it, go here and click on preview area. And what the preview area allows you to do is it basically allows you to preview the stats of the clip file you have selected. Name of the clip, if you scroll down, you can see here. What is it? Is it a movie? Is it an audio clip? What is it? The dimensions, the time code, the frame rate it was recorded in, the sample rate, is it compressed, and stereo, is it mono, is it stereo mapped to mono, what is it? And super vital, you can even actually play the video by pressing spacebar. In this case, it's very choppy because I'm also recording, but you can normally play this, it's really cool. And now let's head off to the next one, which is creating a new bin. Bins are basically like folders, and they're super important to actually organize all of your clips in. And I recommend you get a sort of bin sorting system in your workflow because it is very vital and it can make your workflow flow much faster. In order to create a bin, you could just click here and create new bin. However, I find that to be tedious. When you're on your 10th bin, it's very tedious and you just want to get over with quicker. You press Control B to create a bin, and then just click here, and let's say you want to rename your bin, and you're basically just editing the timeline, and you notice, and you glance quickly and you notice, oh, I misspelled this. Let me just quickly go here, and let me just quickly double click here and stuff, and all of a sudden you open the bin, the floating window, and you're frustrated, and you're just, you're not in your mode, or you're not in your Zen state that you were before. By the way, in order to close a floating window or any of the monitor windows or panels, press Control W. So in order to do this, basically click on it once and press the Tab key. And then you can name it to whatever you wish. There you go. Now, ever since we added the preview area, we can't really see everything. We have to scroll down to see everything. And we can actually alleviate this by actually maximizing the panel view by pressing the tilde key or tilde key, which is the key above the tab key. As you can see, now this is very mouse based. So we can do the timeline, we can do the program monitor, and we can also do the source monitor. So let's go back to the program monitor for a second, and let's go to the project window. Boom. Now the next shortcut is actually something that's really useful if you have a lot of bins and you have like bins inside bins or sub bins, sub clips and all that stuff. You have a lot of stuff in your bin and you want to close everything. In this case, I just have one file and it's not really useful unless you're working on larger projects. Just hold on Alt and click on one of the twirlies. You will close everything and you will also open everything. It's super useful if you just quickly want to open your bin and just look at your, sequences, your audio files, and you want to pick something out and in order to put your source monitor. The next shortcut is Shift O. O for open, and that will quickly just put it in your source monitor. In order to create an in and out point, you press the I key. And let me show you, and you can use the arrow keys to move one frame at a time. So let's create an in point. And let's go here and let's create an out point. You can actually press the plus key on your keyboard to basically zoom in. Now that we're on the timeline, let's actually talk about cutting. Cutting is the most important thing, and a cut is basically a real-time transition. And most beginners will basically use the razor tool. They will do this, and they'll do this, and maybe they'll zoom in. And then they'll, right click in the clip and they will do like a clear or a ripple delete. In this case, let's just do a clear. And then they'll, use the move tool. And by the way, your move tool won't be here. I just moved it up there. You can actually move Premiere Pro's modules. It's very modular. And actually, I got this time code by going to Window and Time Code. Super useful for a man who just wants to know where he's at. It's super useful. As you can see, I have a time code here and a time code here. And then they'll go to their move tool and they would basically just move, everything here. And that took way too long. Let me show you a much faster way of adding an edit point or add edit or a cut. You press Control K and you do that, and you use the arrow keys to move frame by frame if you want to, be really accurate. Or you could press or hold down the Shift key and press the arrow keys, and you go 5 frames at a time. That is Premiere Pro's default. You can do that. Press Control K, and you can press the D key, D for Dick, to select the thing. Yep, as you can see, it's a little bit delayed. Normally it's very responsive, but at the moment I'm recording. And you press Shift and Delete. And that'll basically move this clip to where the playhead is. It's called a ripple delete, and it's super useful. So let's do this really quickly. How I normally do my cuts. Control K, D, Shift Delete. There you go. That did not take that much time. And now let's say you want to basically cut out a huge chunk of your video. Let's say you want to, I'm going to use just the mouse to drag the playhead cursor. This is called a playhead cursor, by the way, if you didn't know that. And let's say I want to get rid of this part. I could do Control K, and then maybe for sake of rush, I'll do this, and I'll press Shift Delete. That was 3 commands. We can condense that actually into 1 command, and let me show you. Let's say we don't get rid of this part right here, not this part. You just press the Q key. Q for queen in a way. Let's do that again, just so you could see. And just Q. Start to create lots of cuts and stuff in your timeline. You will notice that, I'm just cutting, using Shift and the left arrow to move back. You will notice that, you see a lot of these white lines and stuff. And when you're really far away, which you can actually, get a bird's eye view of your timeline by pressing the backslash key. Get a bird's eye view of that, and then press Shift minus to basically just get a, a really, small view of your timeline. You see, you can't really tell where you added your cuts. And let me show you a quick tip. You go here to your wrench in your timeline, and you click on Show Through Edits. And as you can see, this little thing came right here. It's just a nice way of seeing that, hey, oh, there's a cut right here, there's a cut right here, and there's a cut right here. You can use as a reminder to add transitions to certain cuts, or maybe when you open a project for the first time after your assistant editor gave it to you, you know where all the cuts are. Super useful tip. And you can press Shift plus to basically bring all the thumbnails and all that stuff back. Now let's talk about this little overlay that I have. I actually found this by accident, and you basically click on the wrench, and you basically, you won't have this highlighted, but I do. You actually go to overlay settings, and then you go to settings, and then you basically can make your own custom overlay. I do sequence time code, and that's the timeline and bottom alignment and all that stuff. Do that, and then go here and click on overlays, and you can see a quick time code. Let's actually make a new custom one just for the sake of this video. I don't know, file name, and we can do vertical center alignment. Boom, there you go. You get the actual video name, which you can see matches here. Dragon Ball Super episode 66. And you can see it's not super useful for me, so I'll go back to my overlay settings, and now I'll have it on source timecode or sequence timecode, and I'll do that at the bottom again. Click OK. Boom. There you go. And actually, we've been using the mouse to click around the panels, and there's actually a much quicker way of doing this. And by the way, these blue lines are called the focus indicator. You go to Edit, Preferences, Appearance, and then defaultly this will be at around, a very in-between blue, very neutral color, which is good for Premiere Pro's, whole neutral look, not very, it's just very easy on the eyes. But you can actually make this lighter, and you can actually make this lighter too if you actually like that kind of look. Like maybe you like the Premiere Pro CC2 look, or you could make it darker. Like I just leave it dark. You can make this the interactive controls and the focus indicator light, so you can see it really pops out, and you definitely can tell you're in the timeline. A much faster way, rather than clicking the mouse and bouncing around, is you hold down the Shift key and you press 1 to go to your project window, Shift 2 for the source monitor, Shift 3 for the timeline, and Shift 4 for the program monitor. So Shift 1, 2, 3, 4. And definitely you'll be going to Shift 3 and Shift 1 a lot. Trust me, when you basically will be making a cut, and then you'll do a delete, you'll press Shift 1 maybe, and you can actually use, if we make sure, let's press the Tilde key and expand that. You can actually use the arrow key to actually go through, your entire sequence. So you don't even need to use a mouse basically. So let's press Shift O, and we can actually get rid of our in and out points by pressing Control Shift X. Let us do that. And we can press the I key, and we can press the O key, we can press Shift 3, and we can also press the down arrow key to go through our edit points. And this is why you should have the whole through edits enabled, because you can actually, it can make more sense to you when you actually press the, hold down arrow key. You can actually bounce through the through edits. So the little markers, in a way, this is actually a marker, but you can pretend this is a marker as well. You can press the down arrow key to bounce through your next edit point, and the up arrow key to bounce to the previous edit point. Down, down, down. Useful way of traveling around the timeline. And let's go back to Shift 2. And let's see, this key's been, for me, it's not been working, but let's see if it works. Nope. When you press the period key, it's supposed to add the clip here, but just for the sake of this video, I will just drag the file here. But normally you would use a shortcut. I would too. Another useful project window shortcut is hold down the Shift key and press the backslash key to bounce through list view and icon view. So this is icon view and this is list view. Shift and backslash. The backslash key is the key above the enter key. And let's press Shift backslash. You can actually have thumbnails in icon view. As you can see, there's no thumbnail. Go here and have thumbnails. There you go. You can actually have thumbnails in list view in conjunction with your preview area. It can work really well. It's like a combo, like in a video game. You can actually hold down Shift along with the right and left parentheses or brackets. Those keys are basically the keys left of the backslash key to basically set the zoom level. As you can see, you can adjust the size of icon thumbnails with Shift and right and left parentheses. Super duper useful. And you can also press the tilde key and you can zoom in, and there you go. That's basically 3 combo breakers in a way. So tilde, Shift and left parentheses, boom, there you go. Do that. And you can also see the little thumbnail along with this here, and you can actually just scrub right here. You can actually play stop toggle with space, and you can set a new poster frame for this if you wish. And you can also hold Alt with the twirly and just close everything. So instead of doing this, this, and this, hold on Alt and you're good. Folks, that's all the shortcuts that I have. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this video. If you have any shortcuts that you would like to teach me, I am open to anything that can help make my editing workflow much faster. And by the way, I actually made a Adobe Premiere Pro CC shortcut guide, and you can actually follow my Twitter where I used to regularly post tons of shortcuts that I didn't even mention in this video. So follow my Twitter there, link in the description below. At the beginning phase of any project, you'll be creating bins, and you'll also be importing audio files, graphics, videos, GIFs or GIFs, so whatever you'll do. So let's blow out or just maximize the panel view for the project window. And let's actually create a bin with Control B. And let's name this media. Normally, in order to import a footage or anything in Premiere Pro, you would click on a bin once. You can tell it's highlighted or selected when it's grayed out, and you would double click. Not there, you would double click on the thing. See, that took me quite a while to get to because I never double click on any of my bins. By the way, you can't really see, me opening my file explorer just because of the way my recording software is. Sorry about that. Screenshots will be provided or are being provided in the video. So in order to make this much faster, just click on it once and press Control I for import. And boom, you should have it open. Try it for yourself. And I actually expanded the view by pressing the tilde key once again.